Well, happy Monday. It was a yes for the women's football team over the weekend, becoming the champions of Europe, technically. It was a yes for Lewis Hamilton, roaring to a win in the British Grand Prix. And hopefully it will be a yes for Andy Murray in Wimbledon. But in other news outside of sport, of course, it was a no from the Greeks. And markets are expected to open low, down today, as Asian markets have and will continue to do. But as I've said in the rebalancing text, for those that have already received it or are about to receive it, it's kind of keep calm and carry on. I know it's worrying when you see this stuff written, and as I've written in the text, I'm certainly not meaning to underplay or downplay the seriousness or the implications of a nation leaving the euro, potentially. However, it is just another down in the ups and downs of stock markets around the world all the time, even if it is a larger so-called correction. The act of rebalancing over time, buying when prices are low and then selling when prices are high across all different kinds of assets and geographic states and types of investment, be it stocks and shares, property, whatever. That very act of rebalancing is then what brings profits through long term. So if you are in a position where you need the money out tomorrow, then you wouldn't be invested in these kinds of areas. Whereas if it is an investment, which for the vast majority of green financial clients it is, that is aiming to provide a return in excess of that which you can get typically in deposit accounts over a longer period of time, typically a number of years, and usually for a lifetime to ultimately provide retirement income, whatever retirement means for you, then these ups and downs, whilst worrying, whilst a concern when the news is screaming at you and the headlines are saying things like plummet and plunge, is a worry. I understand that, but long term it really isn't a concern. It shouldn't be a concern given those parameters. Of course, this week we've also got the emergency budget on Wednesday. And more perhaps than many budgets in the past, I would expect the devil to be in the detail. Perhaps this one will be the death by 1,000 paper cuts, as George Osborne, the Chancellor, will no doubt have something that grabs the headlines, possibly, probably the leaked inheritance tax giveaway. Using the family home to increase the amount of assets in total that can be passed on without inheritance tax. That's probably going to be the big one. And there will then be a number of other cuts to various things to try and plug the hole in the budget. Whether things like taxes emerge, that's been spoken of almost ad infinitum for as long as I can remember. A few years back there was the announcement that income tax and national insurance would be merged. That's what made the headlines, that was the big news. And then of course the small print said, well, that's going to be down for the Office of Tax Simplification, I think it was, to look into that. And of course what's happened there? Nothing thus far. It's just been kicked around, if anything. So yeah, maybe that will happen, maybe that will be good, but that's not something I'd be banking on, as it were. So yes, a big week of financial stuff ahead. By the time I finish this video, the markets will open. We'll see what happens there. But as ever, if you do have any concerns, if you're worried about anything, then please give me a call, drop me an email. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. But certainly this is not something I think you need to panic about today. It's just a matter of, as the slogan says, keep calm and carry on.